Two friends meet up to drink some beers and talk about past times. Not yesterday, but long ago, it's scandals, wars, and crimes. From Stalin's reign to Prohibition, Tudors, Pompey, Bush, and NASA's mission, Edison's spoke, Genghis Khan's rise to victory. Forget your old teacher, it's time for Pint-Sized History.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pint-Sized History, the history podcast where two really stupid people come and talk to you about history and give their terrible opinions on it. But you're here anyway, so really, joke's on you.
Joke's on you, yeah.
I'm Zack.
Oh, and me, I'm Joe. That's me.
And we're back with another episode. Joe's taking the reins this episode.
I am.
Now, I don't want to jump ahead and get to any spoilers or say what he's talking about today,
Ooh.
but it sounds vague. Incredibly vague is the vibe I'm getting straight off the bat.
I guess, well, to be fair, I haven't told Zack much about what we're going to be talking about exactly, so I guess it's a chance for all of us as a collective audience to learn together.
Despite see the thumbnail, as we say every week.
What we're talking about today are the craziest stories of the CIA.
So it's not just the CIA.
No, well, the CIA, that's just a bit dull.
You do a bit of CIA history, no?
I'm going to obviously talk a bit about the CIA, like how its origins, because you have to be able to talk about the rest of it. But I don't really care about that stuff. Like, fuck the bureaucracy, fuck the bullshit, fuck the, paperwork and all that. Who cares? I just want to get down to the craziest stories I was able to find regarding the CIA. Now, I will say very quickly that the CIA is known for quite a few things, and one of them is
being the world's biggest terrorist organization.
Yeah, yeah. which I think is worthy of an episode in and of itself anyway, because you're right. There's a lot of controversies with the CIA. And I'd rather not get into all of that now because that would be quite a heavy episode, I imagine. And I want a light one.
Quite morally dubious.
Quite morally dubious. And I think it's time for some fun, light entertainment while we talk about something that's, a bit more fun,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Hold your roll, Joe.
Okay.
We're sponsored by Crate Brewery.
That's right.
A delicious brewery in Hackney that provided us with these lovely alcoholic beverages. I'm drinking the Crate Lager and Joe's drinking the Crate Lager.
And I just had a taste and it tastes like a Crate Lager. Yummy.
And if you would like a Crate Lager, go to cratebrewery.com and at checkout type in Pint-Sized 15, that's PINTSSED 15 for 15% off your order. Thank you very much. Back to the podcast. Never done that before.
Proper advert.
Weird segue.
So the I will quickly explain what the CIA is before we get going. It gets confused often with the FBI. And so we'll quickly just explain what both of those are. Firstly, the FBI stands for
the Federal Bureau of Intelligence.
I think it's investigations.
Is it?
Federal Bureau of Investigations.
It might make more sense.
But then the CIA is
the Central Intelligence Agency.
That's right.
Woo!
Now, the Central Intelligence Agency was created initially by President Truman after World War II to start gathering... Yes, sorry. What? Fuck off. I've literally... This is the first sentence I've got here. And I'm literally... The first sentence I've got here and he's gone, no. What are you talking about?
There was like the SIS or something, wasn't it?
So there wasn't... It's not the first ever intelligence service. I'm talking about the CIA.
Oh, so I'm right.
No, you're not. I said the CIA was created by President Truman, which is correct. It was created in 1947 by President Truman. Listen. Jesus Christ. You see what I have to deal with. In 1947, yes, President Truman created it. Technically, in the 1940s, after Pearl Harbor, President Roosevelt created the OSS, I think. I can't remember exactly what it's called.
That's the one.
Which is a similar thing. It's essentially an intelligence creating service, but it didn't actually do that much. It wasn't particularly useful, and they decided to scrap it after a while because it kind of got stuck between two different sectors. So I'm not counting, since it's not the CIA, I'm not going to count it as the CIA, funnily enough.
It just feels like you whacked on a coat of Dulux, you know?
No, well, you could argue that that's what they're doing, but if the cold hard fact is the CIA was created by Truman after World War II. It was a way for the Americans to gather information from other countries as the Cold War was beginning against the Soviet Union. That's one of the main differences between the FBI and the CIA is that in general, not always, but in general, the FBI is about stuff that happens internally, while the CIA is about stuff that happens externally in other countries.
It's like the FBI's MI5 and CIA is MI6.
Sure.
So MI6 is James Bond. So CIA would be
John Smith.
John Smith, yeah, that's way better. No, I was going to be Jeremy Bolden. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're on fire.
That was coming to my brain. Thank you.
Right.
Jesus. I'm cooking. Hold on now. This is gonna be a real good one today. I can feel it in the bones.
So, like I say, at the beginning, it was mainly just as a system to collect information, but very quickly, in fact, within a few years, the CIA started growing quite a lot into a powerhouse essentially that could do a lot of stuff, more than just gathering intelligence. The CIA started meddling in global politics and just society in many different spheres of the world.
America?
Yeah.
Meddling in other nations' affairs?
I know. Crazy,
no, never heard of that.
I know.
Didn't know that.
It is impossible to know just how important they've been because so much of what they do is still secret and still classified. I mean, they're probably doing stuff. They're probably listening to this pod right now. They've heard beep, beep, CIA on microphones in the UK, and they're going, "What are these two pale boys doing?"
Well, between them and the Venetian mafia, we've got some real problems.
I know. I was literally thinking as I wrote, this is the second episode in a row where I'm worrying about what I should be saying.
And Kim Jong-un. And Xi Jinping.
I wasn't worrying about the Nazis, or maybe I should have been worrying about the Nazis when I was talking about them. But if you don't know much about the CIA, some famous things that they did, for example, was searching and finding Osama bin Laden in 2011, butchering the Bay of Pigs invasion, which if you don't know much about, you should go and watch the iconic episode, the Cuban Missile Crisis, from our season 1 of the Pint-Sized History podcast.
Joe's best ever performance, I would say.
Yeah.
In a Pint-Sized History shirt.
Right up there. So I was so early on, now it's just all gone downhill. So yeah, the Bay of Pigs invasion was basically an attempted coup by the CIA to try and get rid of the communist Cuban government, which went terribly and almost ended with the end of the world, with the Cuban Missile Crisis. But if you want to know more, go and listen to that pod specifically. In fact, the CIA has had a history of meddling in foreign elections. Apparently, some studies estimate that the CIA has performed over 60 covert attempts to intervene in foreign elections or enact regime change through a coup.
Is that all in like South America, or is it across the world?
Well, I don't know how much of that
you
is.
imagine the bulk of them are in South America, right?
Yeah, well, the four most successful ones, or like the ones that are very well known, are Iran, Guatemala, South Vietnam, and Chile. One in the Middle East, one in Southeast Asia, and then 2 in Latin America.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about all that because that is the darker side of the CIA, which is another topic for another day. We're going to talk about more of the batshit stuff that's just really fun. Some of the stuff that you can't really believe actually happened. You're like, wait, seriously? The CIA actually attempted that or made that happen?
Really? Okay, I see.
So that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be talking about today. So shall we get started? Zach, do you want to hear about story number 1?
Yes, I do, Joe.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you do.
I'm desperate to hear about story number 1.
Do you know what Project Acoustic Kitty is?
Atomic Kitten.
Acoustic Kitty.
The same thing, yeah, sure. I don't know what it is, no. What is Project Acoustic Kitten?
Do you want to share a guess? Some sort of operation or project?
Yes,
what could it be?
I think it is to do with, this is a complete guess, some foreign leader who loved a particular feline pet, and they were going to pack it full of bombs and assassinate some leader in another country with a bomb-laden cat.
You're not really right, but you're kind of on the right vein. So you know what? Fair enough. Good. So Acoustic Kitty was a CIA attempt to use cats as a way to spy on the Kremlin and other Soviet embassies. In the 1960s, the Cold War is properly intense. Spying is crucial, and in fact, in the US ambassador's office in Moscow, the Soviets had hidden a listening device in the wooden Great Seal that hung up in the office. It had been hiding there for 7 years, so they'd had 7 years of untapped information gained from the ambassador's office in Moscow.
I wonder how much information the ambassador is privy to.
There's that. I mean, you're going to know stuff. You're definitely going to know stuff. But that's the point of ambassadors.
Yeah.
That's one example already of how listening in and spying was so crucial. Well, the CIA thought, who's going to bat an eye if good old Paul Connery is rolling around the halls of the Kremlin with some listening devices strapped to him?
Paul Connery.
Yeah, that's the first of my cat puns.
Paul Connery. Paul sounds nothing like Sean.
Sounds enough.
Hello, I'm a cat. I'm ready to do some spying.
If you think about it, that is impossible. In the 1960s, when computers were as big as rooms, how the hell are you going to install a listening device on a cat? So let me tell you some of the obstacles that they have to overcome. Firstly, they have to implement a tiny microphone inside the ear canal of the cat. They also have to place a radio transmitter inside the skull of the cat, antenna wires inside the tail, batteries that would be light enough not to weigh the cat down. But essentially going to sew in all this equipment into the cat and then get the cat to go to the right place and to act normal so that no one assumes anything.
Act normal? You're going to train the cat.
Well, no.
Years of intense training, espionage and subterfuge for this feline predator.
When do we tell him that this is actually how it went? Yes, exactly that. Yeah, because you can't... Think about it. If a cat's got stuff on it, it's going to be like, get off me. It's going to feel weird. It's going to So you've got to get the cat to act normal.
Sorry.
And then once the cat's in...
Everyone just stop there and go on YouTube and just watch the video version of this podcast so you can see the exact body movement that Joe just did there.
Yeah, and I do it again. But you've got to understand, like, this is such a stupid thing to try and do, because it's one thing to find out how to put all this stuff into a cat and it to work. There's another thing for the cat to stay in a room, not just like get distracted and walk off somewhere else when there's vital information. We wanted to stay in a room and stay there and then come out.
Yeah, like what if it's his mouse?
Yeah, so exactly. So there's a ton of things that are in the way here. So
that would be a terrible plan if that cat was going to the UK Parliament to spy, because it's full of rats and mice.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm sure the Kremlin was as well.
You know, the floor I work on in Parliament, there is a rat trap and mouse trap, mouse poison. You know, the little black boxes you put on. There is one every 4 meters, 5 meters.
Wow. Really?
That's the state of the UK Parliament.
That's
what your taxes go towards.
So this is obviously a lot of stuff that they've got to do. They've got to sew it up and everything. So they get some of the greatest of the US veterinary surgeons in the country to practice this for 3 years. 3 years. Imagine how many surgeries they're performing in that time on poor little cats.
Poor cats.
Poor cats getting...
What's the cat death toll?
We don't know. These are the kind of things that the CIA don't let us know.
It must have been botched thousands.
Redacted just killed thousands of cats in the process. I mean, it is
again a huge cat mass grave outside. Yeah,
I mean, you know, you were
Langley.
saying I like the stuff that's more morally ambiguous. Well, look, it's the CIA. Even the fun stories are still morally pretty fucking dodgy. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, this is pretty awful. But anyway,
that ain't right.
Guess what?
What?
They figured it out. 3 years in, and they figured out how to make all this stuff be put on the cat without the cat. Apparently, a lot of cats, when they have this much stuff on them, just like malfunction. They just kind of just stand in place, like with all this stuff on them.
Just go back to
and they're
factory
like, okay,
settings.
it's too heavy. Sew them back up again. Let's get rid of it, and they try again and stuff. So, like, finally, the cat is acting relatively normal. Now they can proceed to part 2, which is its James Bond training. The next 2 years. So now, 5 years into the cat program, they are using all sorts of techniques like food rewards and cat psychology to try and get the cats to do what they want. But unsurprisingly, cats do what they want, not what you want. So cats often wander off. Cats apparently wander off mid-mission all the time.
Oh, I would have thought that.
They sometimes just take a little nap in the middle of a mission, or they get distracted by something like a bird or a mouse, like you were saying. But after 5 years of work and $20 million US, I believe that's in today's currency. It was kind of hard to tell. But
it's not too bad then. It's not too massive an investment.
20 million is still a lot of money to put into cat
20 million
spies.
for invaluable state secrets.
5 years of work, $20 million US, and one cat is ready for its first.
Just one.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're training a bunch, but at the end of the day, this is the first cat that's ready. For its first
Project
official
Zero.
mission. 00 paws.
001.
00 whiskers.
00 paws.
Double
Is
O
that
whiskers.
the best you had?
Well, I'm riffing, man.
You said that was the first of your cat-based puns.
Well,
and
I've
and
got
that was
more.
is that your second one?
No, I was
That's
just
a terrible
riffing.
one.
Well, there you go. That's why I shouldn't riff. There are 2 Soviet officials meeting outside the Soviet embassy in Washington, D.C. Operation Acoustic Kitty is go. They drop the cat off nearby and drive the van to a secure location to get it into position.
Yeah.
Shh. Agent Fluffy is in position. Over. Shh. That's what the men in the van say, obviously. They watch with bated breath. Sherlock Holmes looks around at his surroundings. He sniffs the air, gathers his senses, and walks a few meters down the street. He sees the park, and there they are. Crosses the road. Yeah, bang! A taxi runs into the cat and kills it. No joke, that's true. The $20 million US, 5 years of training, and the first official mission. The cat gets a few meters before it's run over by a car.
That is tough.
Yeah.
That is real tough. Poor cat. Poor
I know.
kitty.
The project was cancelled after that. So, good job, CIA.
Can you imagine being in that fucking team? Being in the team who are like training these cats, and you've been there for 3 years. The veterinarians who have performed countless surgeries,
Yeah.
and then after the first one, we're scrapping that. It's over.
I don't know what the fuck we were thinking.
that was crazy.
I was actually
We've been doing
insane.
a lot of LSD. I would say that probably it's the 70s. It has something to do with that.
I can't believe myself. That was a fun story. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did enjoy.
You ready
that
for
one.
number 2?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the story about the CIA staging a vampire attack?
And you can at the end of the episode be like, by the way, Zach, these are all lies. This isn't
No,
real.
these
This
are true.
isn't real.
These are true.
It's like it does enhance the really stereotypical view I have of Americans in my head of being like like Team America, Americans.
Yeah, it's just because it's so creatively ridiculous that I think, you just can't help it. Like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah, it's like something out of Recess or something.
But this one is a success story.
Oh.
And actually, quite a few of these are success stories. So it's the 1950s, and the Philippines, similar to Vietnam, is in an important region geographically for the United States.
Yeah, big US puppet state.
Exactly. The Americans formerly ruled over the Philippines. You're right. It used to be colonial rule. Having said that, in come the Hukbong Bayan Laban sa Hapon. People refer to them as the Huks. So I'll just refer to them as that instead of saying that again. The Huks were initially a guerrilla resistance group to fend off the Imperial Japanese.
The Huks or the Hooks?
Huks. Well,
Huks. H-U-K.
It could be Hook. I don't know how it's pronounced. How do you pronounce H-U-K in Filipino?
I say it could be Hook.
Exactly. It could be Hook. Could be
Hook, yeah.
I'm going to refer to them as the Huks because it's fun. The Huks were initially a guerrilla resistance group to fend off the Imperial Japanese.
How do they train those monkeys?
What?
It's a guerrilla group.
Yeah. We've mentioned gorillas so many times, and that's the first time you've gone for that.
Yeah, it's because you're making the cat-based puns. So
No,
I feel like
you know
I need to come in with the gorilla.
It's all right. I'm sorry for not giving it more credence.
Yeah, you really. It's the same thing I said last episode, where I feel like you shame me, where I get when I get things when I come in with silly things. The look you give me, it's like a really disappointed parent.
Yeah, well, sometimes you need to read the room. Since I'm the only one in the room, I just mean, can you read me? that's basically what I mean. No, that was good. I actually did like the gorilla one, but
Cool.
We don't have time for that because there's a serious problem. The Huks are commie. Yeah, you hear that?
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
What a shame.
Yeah, the Huks are commie filth, or at the very least, they have communist tendencies. So while they are technically an ally of the US, during the war at least, they are now a thorn in their side. So the CIA start trying to dismantle the group. Classic. The island, and for the Philippines in general, is a very superstitious place. And so the CIA have started flying planes with megaphones, broadcasting warnings that Huk insurgents and Huk sympathizers will have curses befall on them. There's a creature in Philippine mythical folklore called the aswang. It's like a pale ghoul.
The
aswang.
The swang.
The aswang.
Oh, the aswang.
The fuck, dude? How immature are you? The arswang? What? Just get over it. Just hear the word and keep moving.
Oh, no, how unfortunate.
Why are you bringing me back to say?
How unfortunate for that creature.
Oh, fucking hell, dude. It's just this is the kind of lowbrow humour that's like, Christ!
We got the North Koreans after us and the Venetian Mafia and now the CIA. It's also the Philippines.
Now the Filipinos because you're being racist to their fucking
they're arswangs.
The arswangs. So a swang is basically a pale ghoul. I mean, to be fair, there's lots of definitions of what it is exactly, but you can kind of describe it as a pale ghoul. Evil.
Come on, sit right opposite me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can feel that one coming. It's known as evil, kind of like a half human, half werebeast kind of thing, similar to a vampire, but to be honest with you, more scary. I mean, they're flesh eaters. Apparently, with its long tongue, it'll slurp out your intestine through your rectum. That's serious. That's part of the rule. Yeah, with its long tongue.
Don't tempt me with a good time. That sounds intense.
So yeah, I'll try and get some pictures on the visuals so you can have a look. But,
what man?
No, not the rectum.
What God-fearing man doesn't want to get slurped out with the rectum?
Not the rectum. I just mean of the aswang itself. Because
I get some pictures of this rectum slurping going on.
No, not that. Point is, superstitious country. There's this creature, and the CIA learn about it.
Just quickly, are Filipinos like very insecure about the idea of a rim job?
I don't know.
Like, is there nothing worse?
Of all the questions.
Is there nothing
worse? Has our podcast not fallen far enough that you've now just gone... No, quick question. Sorry, Joe. Let me just go back a second.
Is there something in like Filipino
culture? Is there something
culture?
in the Filipino culture that means that they don't enjoy rectum?
No, I'm just saying.
Rectum licking.
Is it like... Is getting licked out in your arsehole like that bad for Philippines?
I don't know. But it's not licked out. He's he's licking the intestine out of your rectum. There's no sexual pleasure.
Licking action through the arsehole. Is this one getting choked up
on?
Right,
you're cooked. The fact that you're like still thinking about it. I stopped talking about the aswangs like 5 minutes ago.
You go to like a bedroom with a Philippine girl and like you start getting a bit fruity and go for a little rim job. Oh, aswang! No.
You just want me to keep that. That's so cooked. Anyway, we're so massive. Let's get back to the story because this is, remember the CIA are listening, Zack, and they're not amused. One occasion, there's a worry that the Huk might attack an area that has been vacated by Philippine forces, and that they could kill American allies. So the CIA started preparing rumors and spreading them to the villagers, knowing that they would have open communication with the Huck, that there was a supposed Aswang sighting nearby. A few days later, once the rumor had had time to infiltrate the Hucks, the CIA grabbed a Huck soldier on patrol, killed him, punctured 2 holes in his neck, and hung him upside down so his blood would drain. They then left him for the Hucks to discover, and when the fighters found him, they fled the territory, presuming it was an Aswang. So their mission actually succeeded.
Really? Mm-hmm. How many fighters were there?
They were worried it would be about 300. And they all left because
No, too many rim jumps! Unadulterated fear of rimming in the Philippines.
But it's not. Nothing was done with the rectum by the CIA. We presume. Yeah. It was more vampire, neck bites and stuff. So yeah, and it worked. For all the things we laugh about the CIA,
they probably would have done a little painted circle on the sphincter of sorts.
I'm sure they did a lot of things.
What would be a sign of an Aswang rimming you out?
I'm honestly getting the impression that despite your communist tendencies, you want to work for the CIA because I can see your creativity and your imagination whirling right now.
You would have pulled a little bit of
if I was working on this case, I think I would have drawn a few red lines on the butthole.
No, so you would have pulled a little bit of intestine out of the sphincter.
No, I get it, mate. You want to work for the CIA? This is your chance.
Send me to Cuba.
Well, you can tell me what you think about Project Cold Feet, our story number 3. In the 1960s, the USA found an abandoned Soviet drift station. Do you know what a drift station is?
No idea.
So a drift station is a station that is a temporary station that is on the ice sheet. So like on the ice that kind of is in the water, kind of like floating on it. That you'll find in the Arctic or the Antarctic. If you were to put a geothermal station there to gather readings and stuff, it can't stay there forever because eventually the ice will either dissolve or whatever. That is a drift station.
I see. What's it doing? Collecting data or something?
Yeah, collecting data about many things, not just like the weather, but obviously, data about the Americans, data about, the Cold War, nuclear capabilities, readings, stuff like that. The Soviets had abandoned it because they felt it was going to be crushed by a pressure ridge in the Arctic Ocean. And the plan is to recover as much data of the small research station as possible in case it had any valuable information or insight into Soviet technology.
They're going to counter-hack it or something.
Counter-hack it?
Is there people on the station?
No. The Soviets have abandoned it. They've all left it.
Okay, so
it's just a ton of stuff on the ice on this ice.
Like papers. Like a building.
Everything, building, antenna and stuff that you're using to antenna, readings, findings, stuff that you can use.
I'm with you.
Yeah, it's just important stuff that the Soviets have. And remember, when there's no communication between the two countries during the Cold War, they will take anything that they can get to learn what the other side is using.
Sure.
But this is a problem to collect that stuff. It is far too deep into the ice pack for a helicopter to reach it, and a plane cannot land on it. It's a huge obstacle. It would be very, very difficult to land men and pretty much impossible to be picked up again if they were to land.
How would you have to scale it to get up there or something? Or
no, I mean, it'd be impossible to ride a ship through the ice.
Okay, I feel you need an icebreaker.
And it's too far in for an icebreaker to do it.
Yeah, I imagine.
So there's basically no way to get there unless you were to drop in. But if you're dropping in, how are you getting back out?
Yeah, the Soviets probably also have better ice-breaking equipment than the
Possibly.
Americans.
But remember, they're leaving before it gets too much.
Yes, okay.
You want to be part of the CIA. I can see it in you. So what do you do?
I'm going to say they train SEALs to jump on their backs. They put cleats into the seal like a snowboard, and they go, and they go on. On they go.
That's with your head in the game now. But it's completely wrong.
Maybe I do want to join the CIA.
So what they do instead is they take 2 operatives, Major James Smith, an experienced paratrooper and Russian linguist, and Lieutenant Leonard Leshak, a former Antarctic geophysicist. They are going to jump out of a plane and land on the ice sheet. Paratroop in. Leshak.
Paratroop in.
Yeah, that's you can say that.
Parachute in.
Yeah, you can say that's still a verb to paratroop. Yeah, just means that you're parachuting with the intention of as a paratrooper, as it were. Leshak had to quickly, because this is a brand new exciting mission, that he had to be quickly trained in paratrooping at a Navy course. But how do they get off the ice sheet?
They are dropped a rope from some sort of plane, and it's like they got to catch it.
That's ridiculous, and it wouldn't work. Instead, it's the other way around. Now, Robert Fulton has been inventing a new device for the CIA called the Fulton Skyhook System. The concept is absolutely nuts. Basically, the person on the ground puts on a special harness attached to a long cable that is lifted up by releasing a big balloon straight into the air. Then a low-flying plane with a V-shaped hook on its nose flies past and catches the cable, snatches it up, pulling the harness and the person with it, and then reeled into the plane while in the air through a winch system.
That is insane.
Yeah. That is some James Bond type shit that you can't you would only imagine in that type of movie. You can't imagine that's a real thing.
They use it, don't they, in Batman: The Dark Knight, when he goes to get Mr. Lau from Hong Kong.
Oh yeah,
because he has to get him.
Does he throw a balloon up?
Yeah, he throws something behind him.
Yeah,
and it goes up, and then the plane comes.
Yes, that's right. You're right. Well done. Well remembered.
And then the whole time it's got the dum.
Yes.
Dum.
Oh, that was good.
Batman.
That was great.
Amazing film.
But again, this is the type of stuff you hear you see in a movie and you think that's cool, but surely that doesn't happen in real life. This happened in 1962. 1962. And may I just say, while on the surface it seems incredibly cool, the system of a balloon going up and you being snatched into the air, but in reality is extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. And it's never been tested in a scenario like this before. So there's no guarantee that A, it would work, and B, the person would survive.
You'd be incredibly brave to that, don't you?
You would. And this is one of these people, Leshak, has never jumped out of a plane before anyway, let alone be yanked up again. Here we go. The day arrives, the 28th of May, 1962. The two men have flown over the station. They jump, land, and spend over 3 days on the station recovering everything they can.
You would have thought the Soviets would have burnt like
papers, right? Honestly, I would have thought that as well. But I guess from the Soviets' point of view, they're thinking there's absolutely no way.
No point wasting time.
And funnily enough, without spoilers, pretty much the exact same thing in a completely different scenario, but the exact same concept of the Soviets presuming the Americans would have no way of gathering it. And then the Americans attempting to gather information happens in one of the stories I'm going to talk about later. So it's not the first time that the Soviets do this. The Soviets essentially presume no one's ever going to come here, and they don't even know there's anything here. How are they going to come and take it? It's ridiculous. So they just leave everything as is, or at least some stuff. But the two men get in, they land, and they recover everything they can. Once they're ready, they radio back in and prepare for 3 evacs. It's awful weather, by the way. Dreadful weather at this point. Fog, heavy winds. The first evac is for the equipment, all the stuff that they've put together. So they basically put all the equipment onto the first harness, and it whisks it off, sent off. Then it's Leshak's turn. He sits down, puts on the harness, sits down, and as he's picked up, he's whisked through the air.
Must be some serious whiplash.
140 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and that's the wind coming at you at 140 miles an hour as well. Not just you being sent that way. It's heavy winds being sent at you at the same time. The G-force
would be insane.
He can barely breathe. Apparently, that's how intense it is. It takes 7 minutes for him to be winched all the way into the plane. The bad weather, the turbulence, the fog, the heavy winds. I mean, the crew that are in the plane are watching this, slowly being brought in and thinking, "What are we going to see on the other end of this? Anyone?" Half a person? If the harness worked, is he going to be cut in half?
A frozen man.
How's this going to work?
A fish finger.
Terrified he's going to be dead when he arrives. But it succeeds. And then it's Smith's turn, and he's shot up into the air, and the same 7-minute winching happens again, and he survives. When he gets in, the aircrew all cheered loudly, and the plane flies back home. Both men survive and take back a ton of incredibly valuable information, such as they learn how the Soviets were able to track US submarines when they were under the ice.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. And no one knew about this for several decades because this is obviously incredibly tight information. It was only, I think, in the 90s or whenever that the information got released that these two men did this. I mean, what the fuck? That's actually crazy.
It's crazy, like, the ingenuity that, like, conflict spawns, right? It's just...
the space race.
The technological advances needed to be better than your rival.
Yeah,
like it always produces. Like I think we talked about in previous episodes how like war produces like astounding advances in technologies.
Yeah,
like you go from World War One,
or the threat of war, not just war.
Yeah, you're gone from World War One where they have like a Gatling gun at the start, which is like the winced machine gun, to like by the end of World War Two when everyone's got a Browning on their arm.
Yeah.
Or the machine guns have Browning on their arm.
No, you're absolutely right.
Atomic bombs by the end of World War
Two. But atomic bombs was one. But that isn't specifically a weapon. I'd argue two that are slightly better examples of what you're trying to say, because I agree, it's fascinating. The space race is one, because the idea of launching into space only happened because the Soviets and the Americans both thought this is a frontier that if we can take advantage of it first, we might be able to stop the Soviets from getting up there ourselves. So they both thought that if there's an advantage to be taken by getting to the moon or getting into space itself, then we've got to take it. We've got to be as quick as possible, and that's how the space race happened. Similarly, if we're talking about the modern day and we're talking about a scenario that's happening in current day, AI is improving at such a rate because America and China are in an AI war. They both want to get AI they want to get their AI to get to a point where they can use it as an advantage over the other. And that's why AI is so worrying at the moment, is you worry about no one's putting any safeguards because both sides are just desperately trying to get their version ahead of the other, just one step. It's the same with the atomic bomb. That's why Einstein, contacted Roosevelt and said, just so you know, and I think that we have the technology right now to be able to create an atomic bomb, and I don't want it to happen. But I, more than not wanting it to happen, I don't want the Germans to get it. I don't want the Nazis to get it. So I'm going to tell you this first so that you can start researching before them. He's not saying it because he wishes this weapon never became a thing, but he knows eventually it will. And if it's going to happen, he wants it to be by one side rather than the other. Yeah. This is the kind of things that technology brings. And on a much more micro level, it's really cool to see these, the Fulton Skyhook system of this ingenious way of bringing these people out. But in general, war accelerates everything. And it's really, it's really interesting.
Just to also add in as well, you look at the Ukraine war right now, look at developments in drone warfare.
That's another one.
Warfare has completely changed.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's wondering what modern warfare looks like. Now we can see. It's fought by Shahed drones and,
terrifying.
These tiny dropping grenades from 100 feet on you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? Bizarre.
Yeah.
It is fascinating.
Very cost effective.
It's one of the only tiny benefits of the most horrible thing in war is just seeing technological advancements, because AI, all the benefits we're seeing from AI, there's many tangible benefits we're seeing, but the improvements we're seeing in AI right now is all just because everyone just wants it to be as good as possible in case it can serve their purpose and serve their interests.
Fun.
Right, good story number 3. Ready for number 4, because there's a fun one.
Go on.
Would you like to know about the many attempts to kill Fidel Castro?
I did know a couple of them.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I'll see if you know any of these, because I knew one or two.
There's a really famous one I think I know.
Go on. Yeah. What's the one you know of Fidel Castro?
I think the most famous one is, I think you talked about the Cuban Missile Crisis, how they tried to get a woman to kill him, and he ends up seducing her or something like that.
I mean, there's more to it, but you've got that right. I didn't mention that in the Cuban Missile Crisis, but that is in one of these things that I've got written down. So we will talk about that. But I was learning that for the first time when I was reading. You must have seen it somewhere else. But yes, you're kind of right. I'll get there in a second. First, I'll just quickly recap who Fidel Castro is, if you're not aware.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
If you were to go back to that all-time goated episode of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Best Pint-Sized History podcast.
Pint-Sized History episode top 3. Top 3.
Right up to Oda Nobunaga.
I don't know about that. That's top 20. No.
Top 36.
I don't even know. No, so Fidel Castro, it's been 34 episodes since we last talked about him, which was in that Cuban Missile Crisis episode, so a long time. So the recap is, the American-backed dictator, Batista, is hated all around Cuba. This is in the 1950s. And in 1959, revolutionaries stormed the capital, Havana, and toppled the government, led by 33-year-old charismatic communist Fidel Castro.
And Che Guevara.
And Che Guevara was one of his right-hand men. And the other one of his right-hand men was his brother, Raul. I'm almost certain it's Raul.
What's the most Spanish name I can think of right now? Raul.
Domingo.
Jose Castro. Domingo. No, wait, sorry. I thought the most common Spanish name that comes to your head, you go, Domingo. Not Juan or Jose. Domingo.
I don't know why.
Carlos.
Carlos, obvious one. Anyway, so to end the recap, Fidel Castro is a communist on America's doorstep. That's a huge no-no. So basically, as we discussed in the Cuban Missile Crisis, they do the Bay of Pigs invasion. That goes terribly. Cuban Missile Crisis, almost world annihilation, yada, yada, yada. But that's not the only thing they did to try and topple Fidel Castro. It's easy enough for the CIA to assassinate this cigar beard man, you'd assume, right? It's just some
getting implicated though is another problem, right?
Oh, they don't care. I mean, they do care, but they don't care. You know what I mean?
Because surely if they do an obvious assassination attempt, I guess if he dies anyway, it's going to be mysterious. But
it'll be pretty obvious.
If he does get assassinated, it's going to just spur on the communist cause in Cuba even more. There'll be another figurehead taking place, unless they think the buck stops and ends with Castro.
Well, that's what I mean. I think yes, there's always the chance of a martyr, but at the same time, you never know. So basically 1 year after the revolution happens, they parachute in 2 snipers.
Not paratroop.
No, parachute.
Parachute them in.
Well, they're not paratroopers, are they?
Interesting. I would say if you're parachuting soldiers in, they're classed as paratroopers.
All right, well,
now.
look, yeah, you can just use them interchangeably. And frankly, it is
that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can use them interchangeably. I think you're just saying parachute.
The fact you fucking called me pedantic last episode is actually fucking nuts when you're doing this all the time.
No, all the time.
It's actually crazy. Like, genuinely fucking nuts from you to start fucking waffling away. Oh, you can't say it that way. You can't say that when you had to go at me literally the last podcast. That is
point taken.
Yeah, that is actually crazy from you.
Stop saying crazy. Stop saying crazy.
Right. So yeah, basically 2 snipers are now in Cuba. The plan is to reach a part of Havana that Castro commutes through daily, set up and wait to shoot him when he arrives. But that is the last we ever hear from those snipers. To this day, we don't know what happened to them. We can probably presume they were captured and killed, but we have no way of knowing.
It must just be quite sus when 2 Americans who dropped into Cuba.
I guess.
Two males of military
They probably have better cover stories than just being 2 Americans with big guns. I'm sure the CIA weren't that stupid.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I imagine the anti-American sentiment was up.
Or maybe they were Latino Americans. Maybe they, looked,
Latino Americans.
Yeah, maybe they had forged documents that said they were Cuban or,
maybe.
Argentinian. There's might be. Anyway,
Very true.
It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be American. But regardless, they're probably dead. In fact, they're almost certainly dead. From that moment on, the CIA conducted numerous attempts to kill Castro, and every single one failed. The legend states that in total, Fidel Castro survived 634 assassination schemes in 40 years. Castro finally died in 2016 at the age of 90.
What from?
I was wondering this myself. There's no documentation on what it is.
Old age.
They kept it a secret. Well, I don't know why they wouldn't just say it's old age if it was old age.
Yeah.
Seems a bit weird for them to, just not say he died of old age. I feel like that would add more to his legend. So maybe he was killed, but either way, he died of something. Do you want to hear some of the craziest ways that the CIA failed against Castro? Because the first one you've already mentioned. In 1960, the CIA recruited Marita Lorenz, a former lover of Castro, so not just some random person, a former lover, to seduce Castro once again and poison him with capsules. She accidentally destroyed the capsules when hiding them in clotted cream at border control. So they're gone. That's fucked. But she still was planning to kill him. And when she finally meets Castro, she describes it as the most nervous she had ever been up to that point.
She is about to kill someone. That
it makes sense. She had time to kill him another way, but she was starting to get cold feet. Alone in their hotel room, a tired Fidel Castro lays down on the bed, and sensing her energy, he asked, "Did you come here to kill me?" This is true, by the way. This is her account. She describes that. I mean, maybe it's embellished a little bit, but I do believe what I'm reading when I was reading this about what she said. He said, "Did you come here to kill me?" Lorenz was standing at the edge of the bed, shocked, and just straight up admitted, "Yes, I wanted to see you." He then said...
Wanted to see you?
Yeah, that's what she said. Yes. But she said yes, admitting it, but then saying, "I wanted to see you," which I guess gives it a little bit of ambiguity. He then...
Sounds so romantic.
He then responds, "That's good. That's good. Are you working for the CIA?" To which Lorenz responded, "I work for myself." Castro then leaned over to Lorenz, took out his pistol, and gave it to her. She pointed it at him, and he didn't react at all. He just said, "You can't kill me. Nobody can kill me." And then he smiled and chewed on his cigar. So again, these are her words.
He Ross Kemp.
He Ross Kemp. He not only Ross Kemp, but if Ross Kemp in the jungle gave the gun
You gonna
kill me? Here, take this. You gonna kill me?
Kill me.
Nobody's killing me. No, seriously, he said that. So he said, "You can't kill me. Nobody can kill me." He smiles. He chews on the cigar. And Lorenz in that moment realizes he's right. I can't believe it. He's completely sussed me out. I don't have it in me to kill him. So he grabs her and they make love. Seriously, that's what
he grabs her and they make love.
Yeah, well,
does that sound a bit sexually salty?
No, come on, you're there with a gun pointed at him. He says, "You're gonna kill me." And then they grab each other. And
get over here.
Yeah, that does sound kind of.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the way it plays out.
Maybe you're gonna role play this tonight with Karen. Go on, a minute. You're gonna role play this tonight.
You're gonna kill me, baby.
You're gonna get home. You're gonna give her one of your Crate Brewery beers. They pointed at me. And then she's like, what are you talking about, Zack?
Have you come in to get me drunk?
You're gonna come and get me drunk? What are you talking about, Zack? Nobody's
No one's gonna get me drunk.
Nobody's gonna get me
But
drunk.
me.
And then you go kiss her and then drink some beers. Sounds right. This does sound pretty fucking epic.
It still doesn't sound romantic to me, but
But it is pretty steamy.
yeah, I just think the way it's read on paper and the way it probably was in reality, it's going to be like very, very.
I mean, this is her
disparate.
words.
She's probably incredibly fighting for her life, knowing that a dictator knows she is sent as an assassin by the CIA.
I know at the time because remember she I think cleverly pointed out
What happened to her after?
She lives. She died a few years ago, I think.
Really?
Or like 20 years ago, 10 years ago. But yeah, she lives a full life.
I don't believe that.
I mean, by the way, there's way more.
Show me the body.
No, that is true. What do you mean you don't believe that?
I don't
That
believe
is true. She has a really interesting life, actually. And if we had to at the time, I would go into her more in detail as well. But she was actually born German, and she was in the concentration camp when she was a child.
That's good. Jewish.
I don't know if it didn't say she was Jewish.
Political
Maybe,
prisoner,
yeah, exactly that type of thing.
Maybe she was a Bolshevik.
She had a very interesting life and a very troubled life with Castro. There's way more about their own details that I could go into. But like I say, I'm just more telling you a saucy story because we're not getting into the really sad, grim, troubling stuff. We're just talking about the fun. One of the most famous attempts to poison Castro, and this was the one I actually thought you were going to say when you said you knew one of these stories, was the CIA's attempt to contaminate his cigars. In 1960, they tried to lace them with a poison strong enough to kill you just by putting it on your lips. The cigars were delivered, but mysteriously never made it to Castro itself, stopping somewhere in the chain. I mean, they were there, they were with him, but they didn't actually get to Castro himself.
That sounds like a bit of a Rasputin story. He probably smoked like 5 of them and just didn't feel anything.
Then, in 1967, they reportedly attempted to give Castro an exploding cigar during his visit to the United Nations in New York. This one is slightly less credible because the way the story is told is apparently a New York police officer who would have been around when the entourage of Castro was about to arrive was asked by a CIA operative if he could help put an exploding cigar in Castro's stash, but that never got anywhere.
Always well prepared, the CIA.
Another insane attempt was when the Americans sent a diplomat to negotiate the release of Cuban exiles captured during the Bay of Pigs invasion. As a gift, the CIA planned to give the diplomat a diving wetsuit to give to Castro. Castro was a big fan of scuba diving, and the CIA had planned to use the hobby by contaminating the suit with a deadly fungus that would cause an awful skin disease.
I'm surprised they didn't just train a shark.
Yeah, at this point, if you go in the whole 9 yards. But then, you know what foiled this one? Apparently, the diplomat pointed out that he'd already given Castro a diving wetsuit as a gift. So they can't give him 2 because that's really weird.
No, that one wasn't good enough. Here's a new one.
Yeah, so the CIA kept the idea in America. I mean, Jesus Christ.
That was Dunlop. This is nice.
How are all these ideas just not even making it through the first fucking hurdle? They're like, hold on, what if we contaminate the wetsuit? And they're like, no, I already gave him one for Christmas. Ah, shit. All right, what about the cigars? So we can do something with the cigars, right?
What about his hat? He's always wearing that
hat. The hat. What about that hat? Sorry, we can do something with the hat.
Put a bomb in the hat.
Yeah, hat bomb.
Operation Hattie Bombing.
This one's fucking stupid. In 1971, several people were arrested at a Cuban steel mill. Castro frequently toured working facilities in Cuba, such as factories, and these people were caught planning on pushing him into a vat of molten metal, which is proper Rick and Morty.
That is horrible.
Which is like
vat of acid.
Vat of molten metal of all things. It's just like, Fidel, I'm so sorry.
The lever for releasing the boat.
Yeah, but they were all caught doing it. Castro loved baseball. So another idea that they had was to paint a bomb to resemble a softball and then just throw it at him, hoping he'd pick it up or catch it rather. But that obviously didn't get off the ground.
They go down the old Homer Simpson routine and fired a t-shirt cannon at him while he stands on the edge of the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, if they're going that creative with it, there's so many things they could have done. But for some reason, none of these seem to fucking hit off the ground. Zack, what is another big American organization that hated Fidel Castro in the 1960s?
The Anti-Communist League.
No.
FBI.
The Mafia.
Ooh.
Before the revolution, the American-Italian mafia had enjoyed a lot of influence and business in Cuba.
Of course, right? Yeah, drug dealing.
Castro had snuffed it all out, and the mafia were itching for revenge. The CIA got in contact with the Chicago mob and orchestrated a new attempt on Castro's life. This time, they'd attack his love of ice cream. Apparently, Castro ate several ice creams a day.
Good man. What flavour?
We don't know the flavors.
Neapolitan.
Possibly. So the mafia delivered a poison pill to an employee at the cafe who was an assassin in his own right, because he was going to be the one that was going to put it in the ice cream when Castro arrived, because this isn't a cafe.
Killings by night.
Yeah, exactly. This is a cafe that Castro frequently comes to eat some ice cream. So when
ice cream so good. Ice cream so good.
But when the moment arrived, the employee had left the pill stashed in the freezer, and unsurprisingly, it had become stuck, frozen to the inside. When trying to dislodge it, the employee broke and spilled the poison. It's presumed, this is true, it's presumed this was the closest that the CIA actually ever got to killing Castro, because that was it. Castro was there. Where's my ice cream? And the guy's like, 1 second, Mr. Castro. And he goes to the back and like, no. Oh, come on. Come on, he was right there.
Good way to go eating ice cream, I think.
Yes, but...
Top 5 ways to go.
I mean, that would be a pretty epic death if that was how he poison through ice cream. But alas, close but no cigar.
Very good. Very good.
Apart from that, they even included some non-lethal ways of trying to topple Castro. For example, during a radio broadcast, they tried to spray, or they considered spraying the air with LSD to make him hallucinate and waffle, so that people were like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So they're like, this guy's a madman.
That's so 70s CIA.
This guy's a madman. No one's going to listen to them. But that didn't happen. They also considered
the opening to Pineapple Express.
They also considered putting salts in his shoes so that when he wore them, it would cause his beard to fall out and he would look silly. After a while, you start going into the realms of like, did this actually happen? Like, pretty much all of the ones that I just said are true, or at least some version of it is true. But there's some details maybe we can't ascertain. However, once you get past this point, you get to the point where it's like, okay, this sounds ridiculous. Some of these stories are so bizarre. I honestly think you can make like a really fun movie about it. When I was researching, I was kind of thinking like, I could see
Death of Stalin vibes.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like fun comedy drama vibes of like, you could call it like 640 ways to kill Castro or something, or kill the president.
Yeah.
Kill the revolutionary. And it'd be that kind of like Ku Klux Klansman. What was it? The Black Klansman, or Baby Driver, or that kind of fun, high energy production. Yeah, or like another example would be like The Big Short, like that kind of like high intensity, fun, snappy kind of drama. But like about all the different ways that the CIA tried to kill him. I could see that as a project. The final openly confirmed attempt on Castro's life was in the year 2000, when a Cuban exile tried to plant a bomb under a podium Castro was planned to speak at. The bomb was found and removed, the exile captured, and Castro continued as planned. I'll end this story about Fidel Castro's life with a quote from the man himself. He once said, "If surviving assassination attempts were an Olympic event, I would win the gold medal."
Multiple golds.
Yeah.
He'd be the Phelps of assassination attempts.
He would. He'd supplant Phelps at the top of the Olympic tree.
Right, he would. Is Phelps at the top of the Olympic tree?
I think so, yeah.
You're not Usain Bolt?
It doesn't really matter how good you are at sport, how dominant you are. You're only going to do it if you're in the sports that has the most events. So Usain Bolt is only going to get it in running 100, 200, 400, and relays. And that's it. And I guess hurdles, but I don't think he ever did hurdles. Like Michael Phelps has like 8 events he can do every Olympics. I think he ended on like 24 Olympic medals.
It's insane, isn't it?
Any thoughts on Fidel Castro? Anything you want to say before we move on?
Yeah, I just, you have to wonder whether the CIA really knew Fidel Castro,
Is he not a hero of yours?
I don't know. I don't really know enough about Cuban socialism and Fidel Castro. I just know
he considered himself a Marxist communist.
Yeah, I'm a neo-Marxist myself. But I would say I would say Castro is like essentially a hero in the sense that he stood up to the big bad capitalist globalist America, which in a sense makes him a hero. Obviously a dictator, so committed numerous atrocities keeping his dictatorship alive.
I don't think his human rights record was very good.
No, precisely. And I don't know enough about what Cuba was like during those years. Like, has it prospered? It doesn't really feel like it's really flourished.
So he's not a hero, in your eyes?
I don't know. Che Guevara, that's a hero.
Why?
Well, inspiring revolution across South America.
Castro did that with Cuba.
He's like a Trotsky. You actually did it.
But yeah,
Che Guevara is the real deal.
Right, but
I guess in the revolution itself, then yeah. I mean, I'm not a revolutionary. I'm quite a dull man. I'm quite happy sitting on my chair and talking about revolution, but doing very little to do so. That's why it's a real shame that I haven't got the energy of a revolutionary, because I feel like I could really make a difference. But unfortunately, I'm really lazy. So I'm never really going to get out there and do much.
You're a
Although I
thinker.
have great, I can sit and think about how great it could be, but I'm never going to get out in the streets and really make a difference unless there was an issue that really excited me.
Story number 5: condom drops. Did you know this is a really short one? Did you know, Zach?
It's the airborne Trojan horse.
Did you know, Zach, that American men have absolutely huge penises?
Really? I think
that's what the CIA wants you to believe.
Isn't the global average Somalians?
Yeah, they've got super average. I'm completely.
It's like Eritreans.
I'm lying because this is what they wanted to do, right?
Super average cocks.
It's super average cocks. In the 1950s, the Americans were trying anything to get ahead of the Soviets. One method was to attack their masculinity. This is true. The CIA considered dropping weather balloons onto Soviet-controlled European cities, packaging thousands of extra-large condoms. But here's the trick. On those condoms, they labeled them as small or medium. So the idea is to convince the Soviet men that in America, they were far more well endowed. They see these super extra-large condoms and it says medium, and they go, the fuck, this is a medium.
Do you not think they'd feel a bit sus about the whole thing when they see condoms fall from the sky?
Well, I imagine that's why they haven't gone through with it. But they did consider that. I've just made that up for no reason. The CIA considered doing this.
Surely it would have the exact opposite effect. Where it would land on these streets in European cities, and they'd be like, "God, they really want us to think they've got big dicks."
Yeah,
they must be tiny.
They're presuming
they must have tiny dicks.
Yeah, they're presuming that the Soviets are such idiots that they can't figure out the difference. They're like, "Oh my god, it says medium on this, so it must be medium." Look, obviously that was never going to fucking
drop it on Japan though, and then you got a real story.
You can't keep that. That's so racist.
Statistically, Southeast Asians have the smallest penis.
So the first thing, Japan's not in.
Sorry. East Asians have the smallest penis size.
That's a really stupid story I've got. So I'm going to leave the best one till last, the crazy story. And this is actually the story that inspired me to do some of the craziest stories of the CIA to make this pod anyway.
So the best till last, literally.
Have you ever heard of Project Azorian?
No, but it sounds really impressive.
It
sounds mythical.
It was to a point. I say it as if I was there. It was to a point.
God, those were the days. It's like the Vince McMahon.
God, that was good. In 1968, a Soviet submarine with nuclear warheads is in the complete middle of the Pacific Ocean. Like literally nowhere near anything. All of a sudden, the ship disappears from radar systems. The submarine has somehow crashed into the seafloor, killing all 83 crew on board. To this day, we still have no idea how the incident happened. The Soviets try to contact this sub, but to no avail. They don't know what's happened. So a 2-month Soviet operation begins to try and search and find any remnants of the submarine and its crew. 2 months, but they find nothing. They send a fleet of ships into that rough region and look around, see if anything's floated up, any dinghies, any sole survivors on a rock or something. But they
thought the pressure would have pulverized them, no?
Yeah, unless something had floated. To be fair, actually, I don't know. I guess they're just looking for anything. I guess they're desperate. They don't want to lose a submarine, especially a nuclear warhead submarine, ballistic missile. 2 months, but they cannot find a thing. Little do they know that in a naval base in Hawaii, the Americans have been watching the entire time. They also heard a crash through radar and seen the fleet of ships searching the area, and they know something big must have happened. When the 2-month search comes to an end, and all the Russian ships leave the area, the Americans send their own submarine, intentionally repurposed for this exact type of mission, to go have a look. Taking off from Pearl Harbor, the US submarine great name, the US submarine searches the seabed floor with a cable-controlled camera for 2 months before finally the camera spots something. The shipwreck of a ballistic missile Soviet submarine 5,000 meters below sea level. It cannot be understated just how valuable this stuff is. I mean, this is a nuclear-powered submarine.
A bomb.
Yeah,
bomb.
There's a chance that those nuclear-powered missiles that they have there are still intact. I mean, even if they're not, there's so much information to begin. I mean, imagine the information that would be on board of the submarine. You know, top secret files that might give some indication about what the Soviets want to do.
Also, as well, the Soviets sending a full fleet to recover it.
Exactly.
You'd have thought like, okay, this is some big shit. We gotta get on here.
Exactly. State of the art systems. You know, this would be awful for the Soviets to lose. President Richard Nixon gives the go-ahead for an incredibly risky and daring mission to retrieve this submarine from the ocean bed, and to do so without alerting the Soviets. Because if the Soviets found out about this plan and saw it happen, then this could easily escalate into another Cuban Missile Crisis type scenario. You know, if they see the Americans trying to extract,
give us our submarine back.
Yeah, I mean that would very, very easily,
especially if it's got like some serious shit on it.
Yeah,
like they're definitely not gonna want to.
So this is not only seems absolutely impossible, but how the hell would you cover it up as well? So Project Azorian is the CIA's plan. The idea is to use a claw-like device to reach down all the way and pick up the remnants of the sub. 5,000 meters. And they're essentially going to try and act as if it's like a claw machine. And there's just down and grab it and bring it.
Not like you need 3 tries before the 4th one actually works.
Well, I mean, they've only got one shot at it, you know, so it's even riskier than a claw machine.
Not like the arcade machines. Rigged.
Firstly, how do you do that? And secondly, how do you do it while making sure that no one sees you doing it?
Here you go. You have a submarine, okay? And on top of the submarine has a claw attached to the bottom of the submarine. It's a big submarine. And on the top of the submarine, you've just got a little dinghy. and you surface right underneath the water. So just the dinghy is exposed. So it looks like there's a dinghy in the water. But underneath is an enormous submarine with a claw machine beneath it.
So you've got your levels mixed up. But yeah, that's pretty much exactly it. So what they do is they create this massive trawler and pretend as if they're deep sea mining.
Okay. Oh, right.
So obviously it's not a dinghy, but yeah, you're pretty much exactly right. The CIA essentially creates a special ship that looks like a civilian ship on the outside, but on the inside it has this incredibly big claw that can reach down.
A TARDIS.
Underneath the vessel. The whole project costs $800 million, or in today's money, $5.2 billion.
How long does it take them to build it as well?
It takes 4 years.
So that ship is there for 4 years?
Yeah. Actually, 6.
And they commit?
6, because it takes them 2 years to come to the plan that they're going to do it.
They commit straight away to spend 6 years and spend $5.2 billion.
Exactly, 6 years.
Just to recover a submarine.
Yeah.
How, if you ever want
an idea... I get what you're trying to say, but I think you have to change your mindset a bit. That's not showing how crazy the CIA are. That's showing how important that type of technology must be.
Yeah, no, I understand. But yeah, it's just, I guess what I'm trying to highlight here is like the deep levels of suspicion and hatred that lead to this like monumental effort to recover one potentially helpful.
There's no guarantee any
submarine.
of it's going to be useful.
No, exactly.
What if it's all a complete mess?
It's just any shot in the dark they can possibly take at no cost, no worries about the expenses, just to get a leg up on their Soviet opponents.
Yeah,
like it is just like they will do anything they can, and that is it right now. 6 years, billions of pounds. A commitment of probably like brilliant minds and strategists and resources in the government to do so, just to get this one submarine off the ground.
It's absolutely nuts, isn't it? This is like a movie. It's like, how the hell how did this project get off the ground? How did this idea get into their mind? Yeah. How did they have the idea to think, can we do it? Because this is part of the thing as well. The Soviets apparently at one point do get the perception that maybe the Americans are trying something ridiculous like this. And the Soviet line, again, similar to Operation Cold Feet in the Arctic with the ice sheets, they say, that's impossible.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no way they can
There's no way the Americans are this petty.
5,000 meters.
And if it was a film, this is very clearly a Mark Wahlberg film.
Yeah, I can see it. It's like Deepwater Horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has got a bit of a Mark Wahlberg edge to it.
Dwayne Johnson, Mark Wahlberg, Ryan Reynolds. That is the cast of this
I
film.
hope not. I hope it's a bit better.
It's getting butchered by Netflix for a top dollar.
I do think this will probably get made into a movie eventually. So for context, let's visualize 5,000 meters. The Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world, do you know exactly how tall it is in meters?
It's about like 487 or something.
No, it's 828.
Completely off. Don't know where I got my numbers from.
The distance from the ship to and its claw to the ocean bed would be like stacking 6 Burj Khalifas on top of one another. The tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa, looks ridiculous if you look at it from the ground. You'd need 6 of those to get it that much. Let's make it more local, Zach, because that's the hard one to imagine. Do you know how tall Big Ben is? You've seen Big Ben, right?
Yeah, not as big. I would say about 300 meters.
Whoa. No.
200 meters.
I mean, you stood below Big Ben, right?
Probably less than that. I'd say 200 meters.
It's 96 meters tall. So really not that tall.
Off,
and it seems big, doesn't it? I mean, if that's 96 meters, imagine how tall the Burj Khalifa is at 800. Yeah. And Big Ben is big. Now, that means, have a guess. It's in the name.
Surprisingly, Big Ben's big, isn't it?
But Big Ben, technically, it's the clock. Big Ben's the clock. So the big is referring to the actual bell itself.
Tower. Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I didn't
the bell
know
at the top with the clock is Big Ben, and then the tower itself is called something else. Anyway, We just call it Big Ben. That is 52 Big Bens stacked on top of each other. That's how deep they have to go. 52. Imagine it. Look at it. Let me see you imagining it. I want to see you imagining it. There you go. Yeah, Big Ben. Look how big. Now imagine that with 52.
What is the biggest building in London?
Ooh, the Shard?
The Shard?
Yeah, I think so. Shard.
I would say that's about 300 meters.
Nah.
That's what I'm going for. Do you
Quickly.
want to bet? I bet you £5 right now it's under 400 meters.
Yeah, it's under 400 meters.
Oh.
I'm saying it's like 100.
Oh, really? No. Okay, yeah.
I'm saying it's like 190.
Okay.
Wait, what did you say?
Well, I'll go over 200 meters then.
No, you just said 270.
Well, no, I'll go over 200 meters.
No, let's go in between if we're doing it that way.
Oh, what?
You said 270, so let's go like 230.
Okay, over 230 meters.
So you're over 230.
Wait, do I think it's over 200 meters?
You just said 270 a second ago.
But how big is it? I can't remember it now.
Shard height.
Oh, God.
£5.
Wait, is that the tallest building in London, though?
I'll write tallest building in London. Hold on.
Okay.
If it's not the Shard, then this bet's void.
Okay,
but we're shaking hands on it. It's £5.
If it is the Shard, over £5 for 230
On 230.
That is way too high.
You just
it's
said
way too high.
What do you mean?
No,
you said 270 a second ago.
I've really messed up here. I've really messed. It's not 3 Big Bens.
Tallest building in London. You think it's? What do you said 270? I'm saying 109. Shall we? We'll go in the middle with 230. Sorry, I'm low. So the phone's there.
I want 200. 200.
I'll give you 215.
No, I want 200.
Nah.
205.
210.
205.
207.
205.
I want 207 and under. 207 and under.
Okay, fine.
207
It's
and
not
under.
even going to be. It's going to be like.
I feel like I'm going to lose this bet now. £5.
It's going to be like 150 or something. It's not going to be anywhere near 200.
I feel like I fucked it now. I bet it's taller.
Wait, if that is, it's void. If it's not the biggest building in London.
Fuck. Shit.
What is it?
The tallest building in London is the Shard, and it is 309 meters. Why don't you so less?
Yes!
Why did I say 190?
Huge.
What did you say? 270?
Yeah.
God, that took us so long.
You made me second guess myself. It's because I was so far off of Big Ben.
Wow.
Big Ben's tiny, isn't it?
Wow. Well, I guess it's not tiny. I mean, it is a clock. I didn't even mean it in that way. I just mean like, like how big's the tallest?
Clock?
No, I just mean like
literally does it have a clock that has to do with the price of fish.
No, but I just mean like what buildings are that tall that are also like clocks?
But
most towers aren't clocks.
Are you saying like
it's a clock tower?
Yeah, no, I understand. But you're saying that because like you need to read it?
No, I'm just saying
or
most.
Like you need to know what time it is.
Let's say it another way. What clock towers are bigger than Big Ben?
Exactly. I don't have an exhaustive list of clock towers in my head.
I'm looking at a clown tower right now. Right, okay, so you've won a 5.
The 5 for 8 clock tower.
In 38 episodes of this pod, that is the second bet we've ever done live on air. I won.
Yeah, 1-1, baby.
I won a 5 or a tenner for
tenner from the Eisenhower one.
But then I gave you 5 back, so
yeah, because it wasn't really
because it was ambiguous, but I was me. So I won for the Cold War. When did the Vietnam War
clear
begin?
win this time though? You could say that I've won clearly the only bet on Pint-Sized History.
Yeah, we're in terms of money, we're evens now. So congratulations. Yeah, essentially it's 52 Big Bens, it's 6 Burj Khalifas, and it is halfway to the Mariana Trench, the deepest place on Earth. That's how far that they've got to put this massive claw. And so they begin 4 years of construction. And how much was the total price? $5.2 billion in today's currency. And suddenly the Glomar Explorer sets off under the guise of being a billionaire owner's personal venture into extracting manganese from the ocean floor, a completely made-up cover story. The Glomar arrives and starts the 1-month process of slowly lowering its claw. Twice during this time, Soviet patrols arrive on the scene and question the ship, flying helicopters around the vessel to try and gauge what the hell the Americans were doing. The Soviets are suspicious and stay to watch the American ship throughout the mission. So all the crew have to act completely normal and not seem out of place.
But underneath them, there is
there's a huge claw with these huge iron bars that have basically been connected together to slowly lower it down, down, down. And after weeks, the claw is finally ready to retrieve the ship. It starts slowly lifting the sub up to the Glomar when suddenly part of the claw collapses and over half of the submarine breaks apart and falls back down to the ocean bed.
Jesus.
The rest is retrieved, and the mission at least isn't a total failure. The American government decides to continue the project and attempt to retrieve the rest of the sub in the future. But American newspapers reveal the CIA's big plan a year later and exposes Project Azorian. The government decided to finally end the mission.
So half is retrieved, though?
They retrieved less than half of it. And we don't know if any of it was any useful because it's the CIA that they did not release the information of it. In fact, they didn't even say that they did it. Even despite the fact that it was it got leaked that they were doing it. And this is the really interesting thing. My favorite part of the story is the fact that the Americans had to keep as vague as possible about the event to try and keep relations with the Soviets as cordial as possible during a troubling period. So the official government line when questioned about Project Azorium was, "We can neither confirm nor deny." This was the first time this phrase had been uttered.
Oh, really?
And it is known as the Glomar response. It is used all the time by governments today
That's so cool.
as a way to respond evasively, saying something whilst actually saying anything at all.
That's where it comes from.
It comes specifically from this incident.
That point.
No,
alone.
It's like that. It's just like that phrase that we hear all the time. The governments will constantly say is because this ridiculous mission. Everyone knew it was real, but to try and save face of themselves and the Soviets, they said, "We can neither confirm nor deny," and that's how it became a thing.
I'll tell you what. Not only is that used in like government responses, it's used in every single walk of life, about everything. Like how often do you use it every week?
Well, I don't use it, but I hear it all the time.
Well, I use it often. I'm always under question.
Of course, classic.
On the traitors, I can never confirm or deny.
That's true. That's true. I didn't think about that. So yeah, and that's the end of the story.
I thought that was really interesting. I didn't know what angle you're going to go for, and I thought
I just wanted to go for some fun stories.
I think
the CIA
really,
did.
it just makes me feel like the Americans are so silly. They're just such silly people, aren't they?
The reality is that the CIA are this constant in society. They're always there. We joked about the fact they might be listening to us right now.
Probably are. Hello.
And they might be. They still have as much influence now as they did then. And some of the stories that we've discussed today, similar variants could be happening right now. These are the declassified stories that I found and talked about. There are so many stories that we will never know about, or at least won't know about for decades and decades to come, that are probably even crazier than this. Maybe in a few years' time or many years they'll be released. But for now, we just have to guess about how crazy some of these stories could have gone.
Operation Pint-Sized History pod. That would be a come on when we're declassified in 10 years' time.
What do you think we did?
Stay tuned.
You nonced a few kids and now you've been caught.
It fucking comes back to you calling me a nonce.
Release the files, Zack.
It's like the third time you called me a nonce.
Release the files! Right, okay, that's the end of our pod for today. It's a big one, so I hope you enjoyed a bit of a bigger episode than our usual part ones, part twos. We wanted to fit this all in one. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next episode, which is Christmas time. It's going to be obviously coming out on Christmas.
A Christmas special.
Yeah, that's going to be nice. So we'll see you for that one, and have a nice day.
Bye.